Oh, an Egg McMuffin, coffee, creamer, and sugar. That is not my receipt. Proves the car came from California though. So there's that. Hey guys, it's Troy with DIY Home and Auto. Today's video we are doing some finish up work on the 2004 Toyota Corolla. We replaced the headlights, we added LED turn signals, and what that caused was hyperflash. There's two ways to solve that problem. One way is to use what's called a load equalizer. And a load equalizer, what it basically does is it interrupts that signal, borrows some of the voltage to trick the flasher into thinking that it's a regular incandescent bulb that's drawing enough power so that it knows that the bulb isn't burned out. That's a little bit intrusive to install. You have to crimp it onto the existing wiring. I opted for what's called a low voltage flasher. And what this does is it just replaces the existing flasher that's set to the standard voltage that the flasher is expecting to see. So this one's expecting to see lower voltage, so it's not really going to be a good indicator of when you have burned out bulbs, etc. We only replaced the front turn signals with LEDs, not the rear. So this flasher will still work, and it'll work as normal, you know, a slow flash like you expect to see, but it will not give you the indicator of a burned out bulb. Say one of the rear bulbs burns out, this thing will not do that hyper flash to warn you that a turn signal's turned out. So if you opt for this route, be sure and check your bulbs periodically and just make sure that you have all of your lights at all corners. But let's get this thing installed, and I'll show you exactly what to do to get it installed. I'll put links down below to both of these options so that you'll be able to make a decision for yourself. These are not hard to install, but like I said, they've got to be mounted up underneath there. If you live in a really hot climate, maybe this isn't the option to go with. But this is fairly easy to install, and this is the option that I went with. So let's get this installed in the car. I'll show you the hyperflash and what it's like after we have the new flasher installed. So inside the headlight assembly, you can see that we've replaced the standard bulb with an LED bulb. We've done that on each side. In there. The hyperflash, just a really fast flash, and it should be doing the same thing in the rear. Yep, exactly. So it thinks that the bulb is burned out, or one of the bulbs is burned out. So let's see what it looks like inside the car. Turn signal is on. You can see it's hyper flashing inside the car as well. And if you listen real close, you can hear the tick, tick, tick. But to fix this problem, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna follow that tick, tick sound until we find the flasher. It's inside the cab of the car so that you can hear it while you're driving. It's probably coming from down there somewhere. But let's give chase and see if we can figure out where this sound's coming from. We're looking for something that looks very similar to that, because this is, well, it replaces the original equipment. So turn on a turn signal so I can hear it. It's back behind here somewhere or something. Ooh, all sorts of goodies in there. And it's right there, actually. It's installed like that. It looks like it clips onto the side of that, so maybe I can get that off of there. I need a flashlight and a tiny screwdriver. Alright, well, I probably don't need that on now that I've identified it. Turn that off. Alright, let's see what we got here. Get to it from below. Oh, there's a receipt or something. From Marietta, California. I've never been to California in this. Oh, an Egg McMuffin, coffee, creamer, and sugar. That is not my receipt. Proves the car came from California though. So there's that. Just cannot get both hands in there. Try not to break anything. But I definitely need those tabs. Wow, I drew blood. Woo! Nice. Well, extra little button on there to push. So you have 3 tabs to move to get that out of there. That's not helpful at all. That's good to know. Okay, well, that's just fine and dandy, isn't it? Well, anyway, I'll show you that up close. Let me get this one put back in here and make sure that it solves our hyperflash issue. And again, all the parts for this are going to be listed down below. Alright, that clipped in. Put the key in, make a bunch of noise. Wait for the beeper to stop. And if you can hear that, it's a slow flash. So we solved our problem. Now I've just got to get this thing back up in there where it will not be in the way and banging around. Probably gonna have to use zip ties because I actually broke the little clip that it's supposed to clip onto. So that's fantastic. I don't know how else to get that off of there without breaking it. I couldn't get my hands down in there. I split my wrist or my back of my knuckles open. But left and right seem to work. Emergency flashers work. I believe we're good to go. And there we go with the hyperflash fixed. Replacing the flasher is easier and less intrusive than the other option. That's for darn sure. So if you've already replaced your existing bulbs with LEDs and you have the hyperflash, this is how you resolve it. Or if you want to upgrade to LED bulbs and not have the hyperflash, this is how you resolve it. This is Troy with DIY Home and Auto. Be sure and like, subscribe, share, do all those things. I really appreciate it. And ring that bell so you get notified on future things. I'm working on some really cool stuff and you won't want to miss out. I appreciate it. Thanks guys. See you guys in the next video. So if you've already replaced your LED bulbs, just kidding. If you've already